Okay, guys. So news has been out for a little bit, but I figured, I'll talk about it because, we're getting close to the start of this event, which I thought was coming out in November, but I guess it's like a prelude that's coming out in November, and the actual event will be starting, 2018, as in January 2018. And that story is the Doomsday Clock. Now, this is the story that's going to cross the DC universe finally with the Watchmen universe. And this has been built up since the start of Rebirth. This is what's been built up since the beginning of Rebirth. It was played a little more in the button, but starting January of 2018, this will be the start of a 12-part story, of a 12-part event. That's right, it's going to last the whole year. Yeah. Hopefully we can keep our entertainment that long. Now, this will be done by Jeff Johns. He will be writing this. And the artwork will be done by Gary Frank in the main event. This comic, Look, I thought it was really cool that to have Dr. Manhattan is the one behind the New 52, although granted, this is the thing I've always said about comics. Comic books are the only place where bullshit can fix everything. That's how they tried to, limp their way through Secret Empire with the bullshit in there. Oh, I've got a hell of a lot to say about the ending of Secret Empire, but I'm not going to do it here. But yeah, for the incompetence that was New 52, they just decided, we got to think of some reason of why it was so bullshit. I know, we'll come up with that Dr. Manhattan was the one behind it all. Yeah. But anyway, so... yeah, and the button did, and Jeff Johns did confirm after the button that, yeah, it was officially Dr. Manhattan that did, that changed the DC universe, and hence why we had the New 52 and why we had Rebirth. Anywho, so what do I think of this whole comic? Well, like I said before, while I'm not the biggest, I understand that Watchmen was a huge thing. I fully acknowledge that Watchmen did a lot for the comic book industry, not just for DC, but for comic books on a whole. Same with Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. Having said that, I'm not one of those people who are going to be like, I'm going to hate everything that is done outside of Watchmen. And yeah, I like some of the before Watchmen comics, and here's my thing with whenever someone does something with Watchmen. As long as you don't do anything to taint the main story of Watchmen, as long as you do nothing to really, upset that main story, then I'm fine. And I'll get into something that may kind of change that, but there may be a way to work around it. That being said, I'm totally fine with Dr. Manhattan in the DC universe. I don't mind that because, yeah, he left the Watchmen. He left the Watchmen universe at the end of Watchmen, so his story can still, he can still have a story that doesn't really, taint or alter what happened in the events of Watchmen. And that's the same thing of you could possibly, with this whole thing of crossing over with Watchmen, is that you could have, Silk Spectre, you can have Ozymandias, and you can have Night Owl in here. Because all those characters' stories are done. They're all done in that in that story, and yeah, you can do other stuff with them without really tainting the main story. But the main two that I'm really concerned of with Watchmen in this Doomsday Clock event is that are, of course, Comedian and Rorschach. Now, in one alternate cover, they revealed that Rorschach is going to have a part of this story. The problem is that I don't want it to be it's revealed that Rorschach has been living in the DC universe because Dr. Manhattan teleported him away and he's just been hiding in secret for so long. I don't want it to be that because that really it does cheapen what happened to his sacrifice in the main story. That really just does lessen it, and even it would be really, really bad for the main story, wouldn't it? I don't want it to be that. But however, a lot of people, whenever I bring up, this whole the Doomsday Clock story and the whole thing of how could you do Rorschach in the main DC universe, and to which I say, the main thing you could possibly do, and a lot of people have suggested this, is that you could possibly have Rorschach and to an extent the comedian be legacy characters. And I had this idea today that you could do the whole legacy thing of someone else being Rorschach, but let me throw this out here. What if there is a Walter Kovacs, that's Rorschach's real name, Walter Kovacs in the DC universe? Not the same one from the Watchmen universe, but there is a Walter Kovacs in the main DC universe. Because, yeah, the multiverse is extensive. There could be multiple versions of Rorschach and, Walter Kovacs throughout the multiverse. So, what if, just throwing this out here, I'm not saying that, if this is official or not, I'm just throwing this out here as an idea, and, wanting to see what you guys think of it. But what if the Rorschach that we see in the Doomsday Clock is not the same Rorschach from the Watchmen comic, but one from the DC universe who has become his own Rorschach, through his own means? I don't know, I think that would be a cool idea, because one, like I said, the DC if one thing DC is really good at, it's their multiple Earths. So yeah, you could just say that this isn't, this isn't, the Walter Kovacs who died in the Watchmen universe. This is the DC universe Walter Kovacs, and he's slowly becoming Rorschach. Maybe he found the journal that, maybe Dr. Manhattan gave him the journal for whatever reason that his universe's Rorschach had, and now he's starting to be inspired by it, something like that. And you could do the same thing with the comedian. Just find the DC universe, just have the DC universe equivalent of the comedian. Maybe he's not the comedian yet, but maybe he becomes that through certain means. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. Because I know a lot of people will be like, yeah, what if you could just make Rorschach and comedian legacy characters? But I know a lot of fans would want to see those characters interact. That's the main thing, is that a lot of people would want those characters to see them interact with the main DC universe. So I'm kind of throwing a middle road out here, is that you could have it be a legacy character, but it's that same character, but from the main DC universe. Yeah. You can honestly do that and kind of get away with it, because again, multiple Earths. Anyway, so there you go. But as for other characters, there's still a lot. Like I said, it's not just Dr. Manhattan who's still around. We've still got, Night Owl, Ozymandias, and Silk Spectre. They're still around. They were still a part of it, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be a part of this story too. The main question is, where's their allegiance going to be? I'm pretty sure a lot of people have been speculating that Mr. Oz is really Ozymandias, and I really think that too. But it could be, it's still up for debate. But I'm 50-50 on Mr. Oz being really Ozymandias. But who knows? We're gonna find out I think we're gonna find out Mr. Oz's identity in November. And it'll be like a prelude to Doomsday Clock. But yeah, I think that it's really cool, but the main thing is Dr. Manhattan's really powerful, and a lot of it's going to come, and I'm really interested to see how the other DC characters interact with them, especially the Watchmen characters, the other ones. And I'm really interested, and I'm also, here's the other question, when this event is over, what is the fate of them? Are they going to go back to the main DC universe? Are they going to go back to their universe? Are they going to just coexist in this universe? It's really hard to say at this moment of where those main characters are. Apparently, there is a sneak preview of Superman encountering Dr. Manhattan, and Dr. Manhattan just blasts Superman, and Superman just took it all, and just is glaring back at Manhattan, and Manhattan's like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. So yeah, it looks like Superman and Manhattan are going to throw down hard. Really looking forward to that, but all in all, I think this is a really cool, this is a really interesting idea, and I'm really excited to see where this goes in terms of story. But anyway, yeah. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of the upcoming event Doomsday Clock? Are you guys excited? Are you guys not? What Watchmen characters are you really hoping to see part of this DC universe? Do you want to see them live out throughout the DC universe? Do you want to see them go back to the Watchmen universe? And here's the bigger question: what do you guys think of Rorschach and Comedian? Do you think they should be someone else, or do you think that it should be the same characters but just from the versions of them from the DC universe? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.